Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report for Thursday, March 9th.
We're a third of the way through the month.
Pull that microphone a little closer.
Oh, yeah. Well, I adjusted my chair.
It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. No, it's third of the way through March already.
Yeah, racing starts next week.
Yeah,
we'll be talking about that.
Not.
Well, it's scheduled to start next week.
All right, I'll buy that.
Show number 271. Scott Hammer, Ron Miller coming at you from the Hammer Down Racing Report studio.
Yeah.
Sponsored by John Young Racing for First Responders, and Dave Kemmer. Make sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, all that stuff. Follow us there if you don't already. And if you do, thank you. We appreciate that. It helps us. Tonight on the show, we'll be speaking with Katie Hettinger, the youngster from, I believe she's from Dryden, Michigan. But she races mostly in the Southwest. She's the first female winner of the World Series of Stock Car Racing, one of the features down there.
WSOS series, yep.
In a pro late model. So, and she's been making a name for herself quite a bit, I guess. She's won quite. She youngest winner in a late model at Hickory. She's got a lot of accomplishments.
Well, and she comes by it real naturally. A lot of family.
Is it the name?
A lot of family.
You're familiar
history.
with the name?
Absolutely.
So she should be calling us in just a few minutes. Also got some news on that Lorraine Motorsports Complex. Remember?
Yeah.
Talked about that about a year ago, and it's been kind of quiet. There was a meeting on Monday, and I got some inside scoop on that. Talked to Chris McCrone earlier today. So we'll
things that I don't even know.
Yeah.
Oh, Scott.
Yeah, there was a newspaper article published Monday, I think, or maybe it was yesterday. Bob Stazak pointed me in that direction, and then I followed up on that with Chris and got some details because it was a confusing article, and we'll touch on those details in a little bit. And late model driver is going to be making his NASCAR Cup Series debut coming up.
That was exciting. I thought that was really cool.
April. So we'll let the cat out of the bag on that coming up in just a little bit as well. First, got to thanks Big D's Pizza in Clyde. Order online right now. Order BigD'sPizza.com. Or give them a call, 419-547-1444. Check out the new chicken bacon ranch with cheese.
Chicken bacon ranch with cheese.
Yeah.
Is it a wrap or is
it a sandwich?
Okay.
I believe I didn't update the price. I think it's just $6.99.
Ooh.
And those seafood specials I was talking about for Lent, I wrote them down this time. They have shrimp, lake walleye, and lake perch.
Ooh.
Which I'm guessing is better than river walleye and river perch. But I don't know because I don't know anything about fish.
Or pond.
Yes. Swamp. So the good stuff there at Big D's in Clyde, big on taste, not on price. New sponsor as of last week, DCR Graphics. Make sure to support them, especially if you're looking for a wrap on your car, some graphics for your race car this year. And I guess we'll talk more about them here in just a little bit because
that sounds like it could be an incoming call
from North Carolina, actually.
Ooh.
So let's check that out. Hammer Down Racing Report. Is this Katie?
Yep.
Hey, Katie, how's it going? It's Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Hey, good evening, Katie.
How are you? I'm good.
Good. Welcome to the show. You have done quite a bit in your very young racing career, although I guess you started at age 4 and you've already been racing for 11 years, right?
Yeah, I started racing quarter midgets when I was 4, and then I switched to micros on dirt, and I ran those for about 2 years, and then I switched to junior late models, limited late models, and then now pro late models.
And you've grown up around racing.
I was wondering if your family has a problem with you going to the dark side, cars with fenders, racing on pavement. It doesn't sound like the Hettinger family.
No, my grandpa raced and my dad raced, and my dad ran a little bit of everything. But my grandpa, he raced pavement.
And you've raced a little bit of everything, and I just saw you just announced that you're going to be doing some micro sprint racing at Millbridge. I believe starting next week.
That starts next week. That's one of my favorite podcasts or
your
show
favorite
stuff.
Wednesday night watches.
Oh, it absolutely
Tuesday
is.
nights, whenever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that starts next week on the 15th. I'm really excited for that. When I ran micros a few years ago, I had a lot of fun in those. So I'm really excited to get back in the car and to work with Mike Carver and Chevy.
So you're 15 now, right? You'll be turning 16 later this year. You made the move to full body stock cars at the age of 12. So that was just a few years ago for you, running the CRA Junior Late Model Series. You won the, I guess you started that in 2019 and actually won the championship the following year in 2020. And you're the first, one of the many accomplishments that you've marked your name in, and is the first and only female title winner in the history of the CRA. Do you consider yourself a trailblazer?
Well, I did get the Wendell Scott Trailblazer Award, so my mom says that. But yeah, we made in 2020. It was a lot of fun that year. Obviously, not with COVID, but being able to race, we were able to get a bunch of wins that year and stuff. And so 2020 was a lot of fun.
Now, was it a big adjustment for you going from what you were running the midgets or micro little cars going to a full body car?
Well, before we did the junior late model, we went from micros, and then I tested a legend car. I never ran it, but I tested a legend car, and then we went to the junior late model. And it definitely was different, obviously, because I was an 11-year-old switching from dirt to pavement and then from a micro to a stock car. But we tested and we practiced a lot. And so that's why the first year junior late models didn't go very well. But the second year, we were able to get a hang of it.
How'd you end up running down in the Southeast? I mean, you ran at Hickory, and you got some. You marked your name in the history book down at Hickory. There, you got the was it youngest female race winner in a 50 lap limited late model feature back in September, and then a couple weeks later, you became the youngest female late model race winner there as well.
Yeah. So after I won the championship in 2020. That winter, we came down to North Carolina, and we started working with Matt Piercy Racing. And so all winter long, we tested a limited late model. And then in 2021, we started racing limited late model. And at the end of the year, we finally were able to pick up a win in that. And I was the youngest female to win a limited race. And then the next weekend we went to Hickory, I won in late model stock. So because you have to be 14 to run late model stock there. So that was really awesome. My friends and family were able to be there, and so I was really glad I was able to win with them there. And then in 2020, last year, we started off running Hickory in the Matt Piercy's late model stock, and I became the winningest female at Hickory Motor Speedway.
You're not getting a big head or anything, are you?
No. Well, my mom might disagree. But
Were both of those wins last year in the same car?
Yeah, so all my wins that I had at Hickory were in Matt Piercy Racing's car.
Okay.
So how did you end up going the pavement route as opposed to, maybe going into to dirt track racing? Maybe moving into a dirt late model or sprint car. Is pavement where you wanted to go? Yeah.
So ever since I started racing, I have wanted to run NASCAR Cup. So winning a championship in the NASCAR Cup Series has always been my goal and my dream. And I had a lot of fun on the dirt, but my mom will not let me run a sprint car. And so I knew my career on the dirt would be short. But I'm glad I'm able to run some dirt still now with Carver Racing, because it will obviously help me now, hopefully, if I get to NASCAR, because there are dirt tracks there now. And then that's why we're running some road course stuff and everything too. Just getting my feet wet and getting used to a bunch of different cars, so then it'll help me further down the road.
Nice. Does your mom have any qualms about you getting into a micro sprint, or since the word micro is in front of it, it's okay?
Yeah, since the word micro is in front of it, it's okay. She likes micro sprint race. She loves sprint car racing. When I was born, the story is when I was born, she told my dad I will never be able to run a sprint car. I got her convinced to let me run a midget eventually, but I won't be able to run a sprint car.
Aw. Till you turn 21, and then mom.
We get a lot of other drivers there that say that their wives won't let them drive a sprint car. So I can understand that.
The Marsh family says hello. I guess that Braden Marsh bought one of your cars from your dad.
Yep.
And Braden is running a limited late model up in Ohio now. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
You guys are doing well.
So last month you picked up a win in the World Series of Stock Car Racing there at New Smyrna. Was that your biggest win so far of your career?
Yeah, I'd say probably. I've never gone to Speed Weeks or like to race or just to go watch. So to be able to win there, and be the only female to win in the Pro Late Model Series, my first time there was really amazing. And I was really glad I was able to do it with my team. And we had an up and down week. And so we were really close to a win. And so when we finally got it, the feeling was amazing. And I'm really glad we were able to get that. And once we found out that I made history, it definitely was a big win for my career.
How much attention have you gotten? I mean, you've always had a lot of attention. I mean, I've seen a lot of media reports with you over the last few years. But after that win last month, did you get a little bit of an influx?
Oh, yeah. My phone is still blown up from that. It's really awesome because a lot of people who have gone to Speed Weeks who race know that Speed Weeks is so hard. Like, it's a lot of money, a lot of energy, a lot of late nights. And so for me to be able to win, and then a lot of people notice that, is really good for me and my team as well.
So you welcome all the attention then, and you handle it with very, very well, I guess.
Very
even though I made the big head comment. I mean, you definitely carry yourself very well.
Yeah, it's definitely, my parents always keep me humble, but yeah, I enjoy it.
Okay, you said something about you're down testing down in North Carolina right now?
Yeah, so my Cars Tour season opener is this weekend at Southern National Motorsports Park. So we tested all day today, and then we have practice tomorrow, and then we race on Saturday.
You just wanted to get out of this area because of the snow that's coming tomorrow.
Oh yeah, it was a little chilly today, but last week it was like 70s, and my mom, she's texting me and she's like, "Yeah, it's like 20 degrees here." I was like, "Well, can't relate." But
so your parents don't come with you?
So my dad moved down to North Carolina with me, but my mom still lives up in Michigan.
Gotcha. So where do you go to school in Michigan, or do you go to school down there in North Carolina?
No, before I moved last year in about October-ish, I switched to online school. So I do this called On Track, and so I do that after I get home from training every day back at our apartment.
How did kids do that with the racing before there was an online option?
I don't know, Scott. Katie's going to have to tell us how that works.
That's good that you have that option and can do that. I mean, I think that would make it a lot easier. Do you have time to keep up with your schoolwork and do all the racing? And I thought I saw that you're involved in a lot of other sports as well.
Yeah, so when I went to high school back in Michigan, I missed a lot of school. And my parents are big on A's and B's. I have to get good grades and able to race. And so I missed a lot of school. And I was also playing varsity volleyball and basketball. And so it was hard to stay on top of a lot of things. But racing obviously is my overall goal, and I want to make it a career out of it. And so I knew that I just switched to online. And so for my online school, we get our assignments for the week. And so usually I try and complete all my assignments for my classes Monday and Tuesday. And so then I have the rest of the week to focus on my training with Chevy. And then also if we have a race that weekend, I don't have to worry about trying to do school at the track.
So you keep talking about training. Is that physical training for your racing or for volleyball or?
So I don't play my sports anymore since it's an online school, but I'm a part of the Chevy development program. And so every Monday through Wednesday, I go to the Chevy Tech Center in Concord, North Carolina. And I do a workout there, sometimes do some sim training, sometimes some karting, and just trying to improve my skills physically and mentally. That will help me in racing.
Do you do that, Ron?
I do push-ups. Actually, push-aways. I push away from the table.
Who are some of your racing heroes, Katie? Other than family members, are there other uh, racers that you've kind of looked up to?
Well, obviously my dad and my grandpa, but one of my favorite drivers who's always been my favorite driver is Kyle Larson. And I don't know if it's just because he races dirt, and I think that that's awesome because I love dirt too. Um, but I've always been a big Kyle Larson fan, and I look up to him. And he's a really cool dude, so I'm a big fan of his.
So when you make it to NASCAR, you're still going to run some dirt races
Yeah,
like
so
Kyle?
hopefully, yeah, I think that would be really cool. I've always said that, like, once I get to NASCAR, I want to be like Josh Berry too, where he comes back and he runs some late model races every now and then, or I go run a micro or maybe a midget every
Yeah.
now and then.
Here's a tip: don't go snowboarding.
Yeah.
So, do you prefer? Do you have a preference of racing on dirt or asphalt? Is one more fun than the other, or do you just like the racing?
I think dirt's a lot of fun, but
That's a good answer.
NASCAR is where I want to be. I think they're both fun.
Would you like to see more dirt races in the Cup
Yeah.
Series?
I don't know. I kind of am more of a fan of the old NASCAR where it was all at big pavement oval tracks.
And speaking of which, you were at North Wilkesboro last year, weren't you?
Mhm.
How was that? I've never been there, but it's got a lot of history there.
Yeah, that was an amazing experience. That's another thing is when I ran that track, I was still in school and it was the beginning of the school year. So I got the call that I had made it into the field and I had to run after school before my volleyball practice and get all my work from my teachers. And they weren't very happy that I was already missing almost a week of school at the beginning. But that whole experience was amazing. Cars Tour did a great job with that, and Dale Jr. I had a lot of fun there. We ended up having a mechanical issue with our car, but I qualified pretty good. The fans were amazing. The autograph session was a lot of fun, and just the whole like atmosphere, all the media. I love doing all the media, so I had a lot of fun doing all that. I talked to Dale, and I had a lot. That weekend was a lot of fun. I'm really excited for this year too.
Yeah, I listened to that Dale interview where it kind of sounded like you were trying to make it well known that you were available for a ride. You would love to run for him.
Oh yeah, I would. I'm pretty sure anybody would want to run for Dale Jr. But he's a cool dude. I talk to him sometimes whenever I see him. When we were at Speed Weeks, I saw him at Daytona. We went to the big track, and I talked to him for a bit. But he's a really cool dude. I love his daughters. They're so cute. And so I'm also a big fan of his.
Any further discussions about getting you into one of his vehicles in the future?
I don't know. I feel like in NASCAR, that would be awesome to drive for him. Their late model program is really good too, but there's a lot of pressure on that. So we'll see. I'll let Carson Kloppel deal with that.
So what's 23 look like for you?
So I got about 50 to 60 races on the schedule this year. We got 30 pro late model races with Anthony Campy Racing. So that's the full Cars Tour pro late model schedule. And then some Pensacola races. And then the Snowflake at the end of the year. And then I'm also running 15 to 16 micro races, which I just announced. So I'm really excited for that. And then I also have a few Spec Miata races too. So that's definitely going to be a big learning experience. But I'm really excited to work with Shay Holbrook and her whole team for that.
Now, how if things would go the way perfectly laid out for you in your career, I mean, how would you see yourself working your way up to the Cup level? I mean, would you go ARCA, trucks, Xfinity, and then Cup, or what? How do you foresee things working out for you?
Well,
Obviously, it's not going to happen that way because
Scott, I think ARCA, she can run a little bit younger in ARCA than she can in NASCAR. So,
and I think I saw that you've actually run at least an ARCA West or East Series race.
Yeah, so last year I ran Vegas and Phoenix in an ARCA car.
Yeah.
We wanted to run ARCA this year, but we figured that we just focus on the Pro Late model and the Micro and the Spec Miata and just get better at that. So then when I do move up to ARCA eventually, I'm decent at the dirt tracks I know how to run a road course or stuff like that so that I can be competitive in those classes. And to move up, I kind of want to run everything. I think ARCA is a good learning experience to just get used to the cars. And then I've always loved the truck races. So I do really want to run the truck. I know some people may say that you don't have to run a truck, but I'd love to run a few truck races and then obviously move up to Xfinity and then hopefully eventually Cup.
Do you get a lot of fans or kids coming up to you wanting your autograph at all these tracks?
Yeah, almost every single track I go to. I love it when there's an autograph session because the fans are one of my favorite parts of racing. So whenever there's an autograph session, obviously, a lot of people come through for the drivers and everything. Or back home, mostly I do it. But whenever I race at Bertrand, I go up in the stands and see my friends and family. And I get a lot of fans that come over to me too while I'm up there.
Yeah, are they mostly kids?
Yeah, I get a lot of young girls that come up to me, which I think is awesome.
So you're a role model. You're already a role model at 15.
Yeah, their dads, they always tell me, they're like, oh, she wants to start racing now. And I'm like, do it. Like, let her do it. So much fun.
What do you think of the state of, and by the way, happy belated International Women's Day, which was yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of the current state of female drivers in the top
levels?
Top few series, ARCA on up, as far as the status of women racing? Do you think there's enough of them? Do you think there should be more? What are your feelings on that?
I think that it's amazing that we have females who are up there in the higher ranks. Obviously, you have Haley in the truck series, and then Natalie, Logan Mizuraka, Mandy Chick, those girls in the ARCA series. And I think we could always use more girls, obviously. There's a bunch of guys out there that can move up, so I think there are definitely more girls that can. I just think that we need to focus on getting better, obviously, like anybody else. So then as we move up, there's a lot of competitive females in the field, so more girls come up and compete against each other for those records and those wins and everything.
Well, you definitely seem very focused. Have you had any experiences where, where you're racing somebody and then after the race, you kind of go up to them and they're like, wow, you're a young girl. I didn't realize that. And you don't race like that. Have you had experiences like that?
It does happen a lot. People don't realize that. I get a lot of people that go up to my dad and they're like, I didn't realize she's like a little girl. But whenever I feel like I get roughed up a little bit or I rough someone up, I always go up to that person and I apologize, or sometimes I'll go up and I'll say something. But I feel like sometimes people don't realize that I have the nerve to go up to them, or but I also have the respect to go and apologize, which my parents have really engraved into me, is to always have respect for other drivers that I race against, and I also have to earn respect.
Have you had any confrontations with any other drivers?
Sometimes people. Well, last year at Florence, which was my last race of the year, I got a guy that came up to my window net, but I think that there was a little miscommunication there, and I didn't really care. Like, he came over and told me what he thought, and I disagreed with him, but I was still in my car racing, so.
You're supposed to say, I'm not allowed to hear those words.
Yeah.
Earmuffs.
Yep.
There seems to be a lot of altercations or disagreement, a lot of hotheads in racing. Even this past weekend, we're going to talk about a little bit later, between, Madden and Overton.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see anything do you follow dirt late model racing at all?
No, not really.
All right. Well, they had a little bit of an altercation in the pits. There was no fists flying in that one, but it's one of those puff up your chest and no, you F that and F this and F that. And no, they didn't agree on things. Do you think that's good for the sport, or do you think that kind of makes the sport look bad?
I mean, racing is a very competitive sport, obviously, like any other sport is. It's just with racing, there's a lot of, you make one small, like, wrong move and it could cost your race car or someone else's race car. So I'm sure it does cause a lot of heated emotions. I obviously know because I get angry too sometimes when I race, but I think that's just people being human, and it's a part of the sport.
Motorsports isn't exactly hockey, but when you're in the race car,
Are you making fun of hockey? Because I'm wearing a hockey jersey tonight.
Yeah, buddy. But emotions run high, and you're pumped up on adrenaline, and all of a sudden the world collapses. It's hard to let go, Scott.
A lot of adrenaline.
Yeah.
Fine. So, do you keep track of how many trophies you've won?
Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah, because I have them all in my house.
So, how approximately or exactly how many trophies have you accumulated in your a little over 10-year career?
Well, I don't know my whole career from like quarter midgets and everything, because there were a lot of awards that were handed out when I was 10 years old racing quarter midgets. But I keep track of like the bigger trophies I have. So I have the trophies from my 5 Hickory wins at my house in Michigan, and then I have my new Smyrna trophy at my apartment in North Carolina. But we definitely have a basement full back home in Michigan of my trophies and my dad's trophies and my grandpa's trophies, which I think is really cool because there's some quarter midget trophies from my dad when he was younger, and then some of mine at the same track. So I think that's cool just to keep all our trophies together. When we build a house, hopefully when I get to NASCAR, I want to make a big trophy room and put all my family's trophies in it and all our suits and everything, because I think that would be a really cool trophy room to have.
And you'll have to make sure to have extra space in it for all the future trophies that you're going to earn.
Katie, a couple of weeks ago, we had a lady racer on from Australia, and earlier in her career, she was mentored by Lynn St. James. One of our listeners wants to know if any women drivers have mentored you in your young career.
Oh, yeah. Last year, I actually met Lynn St. James, and she has become a huge role model to me. Her and Cindy Sisson have helped me so much in my career in just the past half year that I've known them. Lynn will text me all the time asking me how I'm doing, or I'll reach out to her, or Lauren Rainier, who I work with, he'll text her. And then also Taylor Ferns. She helps me a lot too. We used to have these meetings once a month where we just talk about racing and how I can get better. She'd help me with social media because she's a female racer too. So she knows some things that we have to go through, but they are both amazing role models to me, and they've helped me so much.
Yeah, we spoke to Taylor last
time
year.
You talk to Lynn St. James, tell her that Veronica McCann in Australia has nothing but nice things to say about her.
Okay.
Make sure to write that down so you don't forget. So there's this little thing that we have with the show where
it's a big thing.
It is a big thing. Actually, Scott Melton, the ARCA driver, a couple of weeks ago, thanks to hit one of his sponsors on his car, donut shop, Donna's Donuts, I believe is the name of it. His next race is at Talladega, and he says if he wins that race in April, that he's going to send us donuts from his sponsor for an entire year, because our guests typically go on to win their very next race.
Mm-hmm.
So we're definitely going to hold Scott Melton to that. And
you bet.
Your very next race, though, is coming up this weekend. So there's a good chance you're going to win. You got any good? You got any good food sponsors? You can hook us up.
Just the Hammer Down Mojo is going to carry on into that one.
It would not be good if I had a food sponsor, because I would be eating way too much.
Well, you want to give a shout out to some of your sponsors?
Yeah. So I'm a Chevy driver, like I said. So Team Chevy has helped me a lot this year, as well as Wheeler Trucking. They're a trucking company up by us in Michigan. Russ Wheeler has helped me so much in my career, and huge thanks to him. And then also Lauren Rainier and Fram Filters and Autolite Spark Plugs, Victory Custom Trailers, and Mobile One.
All right. And
Mobile One's a good sponsor. They've got deep pockets.
Yeah. So racing is Saturday night, you said? Yep. Jesse Hettinger says Donna Donuts in Flint, and yes, that's the one.
Yes, that's them.
So there's a box sitting right in front of Ron of the donuts they sent us. There it is. Yeah.
Donuts from Donna's.
Yeah. So Saturday night, we're expecting a win from you, and I'm sure within a few years you're going to be trading paint with Kyle Larson and probably beating that.
Hopefully. Thank you.
Katie, do you know if that race this weekend is going to be live streamed at all?
I think it's on.
Yes. So all the races now you can watch on all the Car Star races. You can watch on Flow Racing.
Very
good. It was
on
Flow, yeah. And Dirt Vision's going to have the Millbridge stuff next week, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, since we're going to have snow and probably have to watch racing on TV this weekend, we might be checking that out. So we'll be keeping an eye on you. Good luck this weekend and everything going on at Millbridge.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you giving us the time to come on tonight. Go get some more practice done. Are you done for the day, or you practice again tomorrow?
Yep. So we're done for the day. My team's waiting to go out to dinner. They're hungry little boys, but and then we got practice tomorrow. But thanks for having me, guys.
Yep. All right. Thanks for being on, and enjoy your dinner.
Thanks, Katie.
Thanks. Have a good.
Look forward to watching you this weekend.
Thank you.
All right. We'll see you. Oops, I accidentally cut her off there at the end. Katie Hettinger. Yeah, I think she's got a pretty big future. We talked to a lot of younger guys.
Right.
Big future. Buddy Kofoid has not disappointed yet. So.
No, he's doing us well.
Yes. So we'll definitely keep an eye on her. Coming up, we'll talk about that update for the Lorraine Motorsports Complex. We got some racing news. We'll be giving away some Big D's Pizza. We were talking about our newest sponsor, DCR Graphics. DCR is locally owned and operated. They do those full wraps starting at just $350.
Ooh.
Yeah, $350, not $3.50.
Oh, well, okay.
That'd probably put them out of business pretty quick. But they specialize in banners, stickers, die-cast, and T-shirt designs. They can make designs for little die-cast cars versions of your cars. So yeah, cool stuff there. They can do graphics on any kind of car: sprint cars, late models, modified, stock cars, compacts, even your car that's out in the driveway.
Really?
I think so. Yeah, I don't. If you pay them, I'm sure they'll do it.
Pretty sure some member of my household would be really PO'd.
You should put a 35 on the side.
She gets back and find her car's been wrapped. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's in Florida. She won't know. If it can be measured, they can do the graphics for it. Call or text DCR Graphics at 419-308-9523. That's 419-308-9523. Or check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/DCR Graphics. Tell them Hammer Down Racing Report sent you. Also, freeze frame photos for all your racing photo needs, from action shots to victory lanes. They have those custom kid cups, 20-ounce tumblers, water bottles, and more. And they can put any picture you want on there. They could, if you want to throw darts at it, you could tell them to put a picture of a driver you don't like.
Ooh, yeah.
Anything you want to do, just call Charlie. Just like DCR Graphics, he'll do if you can think of it, he can do it for you. 419-476-9978. 419-476-9978. Freeze frame photos, special moments frozen in time. Also, thanks to Oakshade Raceway, Ron Miller Race Cars, Headhunters Barber Studio and Salon in Perrysburg. A little bit of racing action from this past weekend.
Racing Roundup.
Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Series, racing at Volusia Speedway Park Sunday. Carson Macedo picking up the win. Also, James McFadden picking up the makeup feature win from the rained out event in February. They made that up. And then Monday night, David Gravel picking up the win. Former guest, I just forgot to delete
that one?
Yeah, no, I just forgot to delete that stuff.
Oh.
NASCAR action at Las Vegas Motor Speedway this weekend. Friday night, Kyle Busch picked up the win in Victoria's Voice Foundation 200, the Truck Series.
Dominating win.
Okay.
He made it look bad.
Austin Hill picked up the win in the Xfinity Series race, the Alsco Uniforms 300. And then William Byron got a break there with that late caution that Kyle Larson looked like he had things locked up, and then green, white, checkered finish.
I saw that caution, and I knew how it was going to shake out, and
his team got him out in front of Kyle Larson.
Yeah, I
in the
really
pits,
wanted. I'm like Katie. I'm a big Kyle Larson fan. I wanted him to win, but I kind of saw how that one was going to finish.
Yeah, so William Byron picking up the win there in the Pennzoil 400 presented by Jiffy Lube at Las Vegas. The NTT IndyCar Series also in action, kicking off their season on Sunday with Marcus Ericsson picking up a crash-filled Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. I haven't watched an IndyCar race in a while, and I decided to watch that race.
Oh my!
And there was like rule things I'd forgotten about, or just like the passing button.
Yeah,
and
push to pass.
Yeah. And what else was there? The 2 tire compounds, and they have to run each compound.
They have to run at least.
It doesn't matter when, but
at least once.
Yeah, at least once. And there was like one compound that seemed kind of crappy compared to the other. I was like, what am I missing?
They like the standard compound and not so much the softer one.
Yeah, it was just it was a weird thing, but
boy, there were some aerial acrobatics. Oh
yeah, one driver got taken to the hospital, but yeah, some crazy stuff there. And that was our how many question for last week. How many cars were going to finish on the lead lap?
Not as many as we had hoped.
Not as many as we had originally thought. So we'll find out who the winner is there coming up in just a little bit. First off, going to mention Oakshade Raceway. We're the fastest meet to race every Saturday night starting at the end of April. What is that last Saturday in April?
It's the last Saturday in April.
There you go. The last Saturday in April. That's opening night at Oakshade Raceway with, actually, it's right here. It's the 29th. I have it written down. Look at me. Yay. Sportsman, the Dominator Super Stocks, and the Compacts. That will be the 3 classes in action for opening night.
Yep.
On the 29th.
No late models on the
late models the following week.
Now, there might be some late models they're testing, which is usually the case, but they won't be
not
racing.
In competition.
Right.
No points or anything there. Also, Ron Miller Race Cars in Lambertville, Michigan, 734-856-7223 for race cars, parts, safety equipment, service, everything a racer needs. Advice, he does that for free.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And you're more likely to do it if you buy parts from him too, right?
It doesn't matter, Scott.
Doesn't matter. All right.
Advice, opinions, they're all the same.
I guess Katie's not on the phone there anymore, but how about we do some of this?
Latest racing news.
Officials have announced the formation of the Air Max Super Late Model Series. The series is meant to be for the Weekend Warriors. Did you hear about this series?
I did.
The teams who work their normal jobs during the week and race on the weekend. Any driver can participate in the Ohio Valley Region Series. The inaugural 2023 race schedule has 6 races, 2 each at Muskingum County Speedway, Moeller Raceway, and Atomic Speedway. Each feature pays $3,000 to win. The season point fund will pay $5,000 to the champion.
Scott, did you see that Atomic is paying $3,000 to win? You're going to get to that?
That's it right here. We'll go right to that now. Yeah,
okay.
They've Atomic Speedway, was that just today or yesterday? It was just recently.
Yeah.
They announced their regular weekly payout, non-sanctioned events, just the weekly show. And for the 410 sprints and late models, it's $3,000 to win.
Every single week.
Every single week. $1,500 for second and $1,000 for third, $300 to start.
That's not bad.
That's a lot of money.
It really is. But
is that going to put, and I kind of posed this question to you, is that gonna get too expensive for some tracks and put them out of business if they're if
they try to match that? Yeah, it could result in some lower car counts at some of the neighboring tracks.
Oh yes, definitely, because they're going to go where the money is, or at least promised.
Right.
So, Chase Elliott, you mentioned kind of this. You didn't mention him by name, but he had a problem on Friday.
Yeah.
He fell down and hurt himself.
So I don't go break.
Yeah. Chase Elliott, driver of the Hendrick Motorsports number 9, did not take part in the Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway on Sunday because he was injured in a snowboarding incident on Friday. The 27-year-old suffered the injury to his left leg in Colorado. He underwent 3 hours of surgery on Friday night.
to repair the brake.
Yeah, and Barry.
Josh Berry.
Josh Berry, yes. Thank you. I couldn't, for some reason, I didn't put his first name. Filled in for him. He has had 2 starts in the NASCAR Cup Series. Prior to that, Elliott's expected to be out for 6 weeks as he recovers. Junior Motorsports Josh Berry will fill in on the ovals, while IMSA star Jordan Taylor will pilot the number 9 at the Circuit Americas race. When he returns, Elliott will need an exemption from NASCAR to compete for the 2023 NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Drivers must run every race to compete. However, NASCAR typically hands out exemptions for injuries, but usually those injuries are in racing events.
Right. Now, how much is he going to compete if he misses 6 shows?
Well, he would have to win to get into the chase.
Right.
And once he gets back, because he hasn't gotten a win yet.
Right.
There's only been a few races, so he would have to win to be in the chase, and then they would have to give him that exemption to make him eligible.
Yeah.
So, and I know there was some question about opening that up to non-racing related injuries.
Yeah, but it's
life.
If Kyle Larson gets hurt at a midget race,
if he falls down the stairs,
yeah, whatever. Yeah,
I mean, you can get injured doing anything. We'll see. As of right now, I don't know if NASCAR is taking any. They'll probably wait until he comes back and kind of figure things out at that point, is what I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's NASCAR.
The Chicago Street Race announced the official race names and lengths for the 12-turn, 2.2-mile street races that will take the NASCAR Cup Series and Xfinity Series past and through many of Chicago's most renowned downtown landmarks over 4th of July weekend, July 1st and 2nd, to honor the historic day of to honor the historic city of Chicago. The Cup Series race will be named the Grant Park 220, and the Xfinity Series race will be the Loop 121. The Grant Park 220 will be a 220-mile race with 100 laps, and the Loop 121, guess how many miles that's going to be? 121 miles. Good answer.
Ooh, wow.
55 laps for that. Fontana's nearly 30-year-old Auto Club Speedway will be replaced by a multi-million-dollar logistics hub after Ross Perot Jr.'s Hillwood Development bought the property. It's been a while since I've heard Ross Perot's name. I didn't realize there was a junior.
I didn't know. Yeah, okay.
The Dallas-based Hillwood Development Company and CBRE Investment Management purchased 433 acres of the Speedway property for an estimated $559 million.
Ouch.
According to Corian Properties, Auto Club Speedway received entitlements from San Bernardino County in 2021 to reduce the size of the existing 2-mile track, to develop a smaller half-mile next-gen short track, and to make room for the logistics center. Auto Club Speedway will retain ownership of 90 acres for the short track and parking lot rights for 106 acres around the track. Auto Club Speedway President Lane Allen said the new track will not be ready to race until 2024, according to NASCAR, and NASCAR began racing there back in 1997.
I believe that was a NASCAR-owned track, wasn't it?
Penske, I believe.
Okay.
Originally, yes.
But they, in the half-mile configuration, they should have a cup race.
I'm guessing. I think that's the plan, but nothing is official yet, so who knows? But I find it hard to believe they wouldn't have a cup race in California.
Yeah.
Unless they find another track next year.
Suppose they'll
Riverside? Is Riverside still there, or is that gone?
I think it's there. I don't know.
Oh, they do have Sears Point, or whatever it's called,
right.
Infineon, or I don't even
know. I wonder if they'll copy Bristol, because
they do dirt.
You could throw dirt on it, but as a pavement track, Bristol it's a fun place to watch.
I think some of the renderings I saw kind of had it still using that kind of D-shaped front stretch.
Right.
and then kind of having like Martinsville corners.
Kind of flattish.
Well, I don't know about flat, but
okay.
real sharp.
Okay.
So as far as banking, it didn't really say. So I don't know. We'll have to wait on that. So we mentioned Chris Madden and Brandon Overton having an altercation. That happened during last weekend's Cherokee Speedway March Madness late model feature. And I'm not really sure what the beef was about. I was kind of confused by it.
Somebody ran out of room.
Well, Madden got a flat tire and flat right front and kind of pushed up into Overton on a restart. What was that, like lap 36? Lap 36 restart. I got into Overton. Both drivers made contact and stopped on the front stretch. Then things further escalated in the pits. And here's a little bit of what happened.
What happens now?
Madden's kind of yelling over at Overton. Overton gets out. They're bumping chests. Definitely not a hockey fight.
Settle it.
And the guy that's filming this in the pits, he wants him to fight.
That's it. Get him. Hit somebody.
They have the drivers separated. Looks like things are. Oh, no. We're not done talking. Gotta come back. I'm gonna yell at you. You're gonna yell at me. Yeah. Yeah, and then there was a little bit more after that, not involving the drivers, but I don't know what they were mad about. It looked like, he got a flat tire, ran into it. I didn't watch the race, so maybe something else happened prior to that.
I think maybe he pushed, and that's what caused the tire to go flat. But I don't know.
Did you see the restart?
I didn't.
Okay, well, they're coming off of turn 4, and they were in the second row, I do believe, and Madden's on the inside, and his car went straight. As they're coming to the green flag because the right front's down. But I don't know. I thought it was just a weird deal. Update on that. Should this be breaking news?
Breaking news?
Hey, this is breaking news. We'll do that. Got a couple breaking news stories today, actually.
Which one's breaking her?
Probably the second one.
Okay.
This one's not as breaking as the first one, but Cromwell Park Landfill, the proposed motorsports park there in Lorain over near Cleveland, had some developments this week.
Good developments.
Well, progress, I guess you could say. As reported by the Chronicle Telegram in Lorain City Council sent an agreement to its building and lands committee to sell the landfill land to, I'm not sure if it's Excel or Zell. It's just XELL.
Excel, yeah.
Excel, okay. LLC, which is owned by Skylift CEO Nick Jarmozik. That committee is set to meet again on Monday, the 13th. The proposal would have Zell or Excel as the developer of a motorsports park, originally pitched by Chris McCrone back in December of 2021. And Jarmozik says his group already has an event booked for August.
Whoa.
Yeah, they still haven't even purchased.
What kind of an event?
But well, I'm glad you asked, because I actually talked to Chris McCrone a little bit today and asked that same question, as a matter of fact. And also, the article kind of made it sound like Chris wasn't involved. It was this other guy, but Chris is working with him, with the Nick Jarmozik. They're kind of working together. Nick is his partner. The scope of the project got a lot larger. Chris's focus is leading the racing side of things, and the event they have scheduled is an Ohio Sprint Series karting event in August.
Okay.
Because they're estimating that the kart tracks will be done sometime in July.
Well, and if I remember right, that was their focus, was getting the
kart track done first, and then the 3/8 mile dirt
track,
oval.
right.
Yes, which it sounds like that's still in the plans.
Very good.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot more public information they're going to start sharing in April, and they're going to do updates twice a month via social media and their website. So we should be getting some more information. Sounds like the ball is finally starting to roll on that motorsports park in Lorain.
What's in case somebody wants to watch what their proceedings? What's the website?
That is a good question. I will post that on our Facebook page.
Okay.
Facebook.com/Hammerdown Racing Report.
Fine. I thought maybe you were looking at it on
No,
there.
I was looking at my messages with Chris, but I think it's Chris. There's a Macrone's Motorsports website. It's mostly for the karting deal because he's been involved in karting. I think might be where it is. But
it'll be posted. It'll be posted on the.
We'll definitely share that. Yeah. Right. This weekend, Spring 50 at Florence Speedway has been postponed to April 1st.
Why would that be, Scott?
I don't know. It's Kentucky. They're not going to get snow down there.
No, but they're going to get a boatload of rain.
Yeah. BCSN, the Toledo area-based sports cable channel, will feature several racing events on their Monday night racing programming from Toledo and Flat Rock Speedways this season, including the Silver Crown Series race on August 5th. It'll be tape delayed.
Right.
It'll actually run on the following
So you
Monday.
have to have Buckeye Cable to watch that?
Yes.
Oh.
Or have their cable internet service, and then you can watch stuff on their app.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which I'm going to, think about that. Anyway.
You've got a smart TV. You could probably figure that out.
I don't know. It's not that smart, but yeah. And I know somebody who works there that was trying to get some other tracks.
Really?
On that thing. I thought they used to do the motorsports on Sunday nights on BCSN.
Could be.
Here's the other breaking news. Let's this is
breaking news 2.0.
Yeah, bigger breaking news. Just announced this afternoon that Jonathan Davenport, last year's
JD
money man
in
dirt late model racing, over $2 million in winnings, he is going to be making his NASCAR Cup Series debut on the dirt at Bristol Motor Speedway.
That's pretty cool. It really is.
He'll be driving for Colleague Racing on April 9th when that races. Be interested to see how he does.
You know, when Scott Bloomquist went there, he tried to reinvent the wheel, wanted to change, and that was in a truck at the time. He wanted to change the NASCAR truck, wanted to take the sway bar off, change a bunch of springs, and he was a total embarrassment. I think JD is going to be, I think he's going to do very well.
We'll see. It'll be interesting. I'm hoping. He's got a lot of, not necessarily fans, but I'm sure fans of dirt late model racing will be pulling for him.
We'll be
even
watching
if you aren't
a cup race.
Davenport fan, yeah. So, and that's it for racing news for tonight. No Hammer Down hotline playback, but if you do want to leave us a message or shoot us a text, go ahead and do so. 419-318-3081. That's 419-318-3081. And
where can they find that, Scott?
Right there on the screen, or at hammerdownracingreport.com.
Okay.
There you go. How about we give away some pizza? Is that a good idea? Are you okay with that?
I'm just salivating over these donuts that are sitting.
How many?
Last week's how many Indy cars would be finishing on the lead lap of Sunday's season opener at St. Petersburg, Florida.
I was beginning to wonder if there were going to be any cars finishing the race.
That number was 12.
Yeah.
12 cars finished on the lead lap. And they had a lot of cars that started. I think it was like
27.
Yeah, 27 or 28. But you said 14, and I had to one under you. So I beat you there. I had 13. But we did have a tie for our guesses because we had one guess for 11.
Ooh.
Doug Frost, he apparently knew something. And then another guess, David Keegan, picked 13. So we're going to have to spin the Big D's pizza wheel.
David Keegan is a very famous Fremont dirt truck owner.
Well, he could be a very famous
Big D's
pizza owner.
Yeah.
So here we go. Spinning the Big D's pizza wheel for a hard pizza from Big D's Pizza. And it's going to be...
And it is David Keegan.
David Keegan. He's got some pizza. a Big D's Pizza. You have 30 days to claim your pizza from Dean Henry there and Big D's Pizza. And how about we we were going to do this week's how many World of Outlaw sprint cars were going to be at Port Royal on Saturday.
And that could have been a big number.
Yeah, and now it's going to be a very small number of zero. Because they've already canceled it due to the impending
snow
unstable weather conditions, I believe was the official wording.
Yeah.
Unstable, it's a good way to put it. So I had to switch things up just before we came on, and you may have seen this inadvertently flash up during the intro tonight, but here is tonight's how many question and a chance to win a Big D's Pizza. How many ARCA drivers are going to finish on the lead lap of Friday's race at Phoenix, the General Tire 150? No, I have to pick first, don't I?
That's an ARCA National Series race.
That is an ARCA National. I don't know how many are entered, so I don't even have a thing figure, so I'm kind of stalling here. Dean's saying 19, but if you want a chance to win a Big D's Pizza, go ahead and put your guess in the comments of our Facebook Live or YouTube Live, and we'll give you until, let's see, what time's that race start? That starts at 8 o'clock tomorrow, so we'll say 8 o'clock on Friday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Friday night. You can put your guess in, so if you're listening to us not live, listening to us on the podcast, if you're in Australia or India, since we have a lot of listeners there, you can still.
If you're in Australia, it's Friday morning already.
Oh, well, then you better hurry up and get your guess.
That's it.
And you got a long trip to get to Big D's to pick up your pizza too, because I don't think he's going to ship that to Australia. But anyways, 8 o'clock tomorrow, you can put your guess in if you're catching us on the podcast. So yeah,
you're stalling, Scott.
You're
trying to get a consensus.
I like Nancy's number there. 17. John Deere's got 8. I like 8. I'm going with 18. That's going to be, that number seems good to me because it's got an 8 in it.
Over you, Scott.
So you're going 19?
Yes, sir.
No, 19. All right. So we'll find out who wins next week on the show. Make sure to tune in to find out if you won, because I'm not going to call you or anything. You just got to pay attention. I'm not a hand holder when it comes to giving away pizzas. But I will make it easy.
If they don't call, we get them.
Really? Dean, let's work on that.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Oh, man.
We should have a lot of pizza then. Speaking of Big D's, we have our Big D's Pizza Racing menu. And it actually has something local on it.
This weekend's Big D's Pizza Racing menu.
Even though technically it's not this weekend for the local thing. Next weekend, I got excited, so I had to put it on here for this week. Attica Raceway Park is scheduled to kick off the 2023 season with construction equipment and supply night with the 410 sprints, UMP late models, 305 sprints. Gates are scheduled to open at 5, racing at 7:45, general admission $20 for that Friday night show. And I believe Saturday was the rain date for that. Long range forecast. Hopefully it'll change. And
it can change.
I'll have to, we haven't talked to Ryan Weekman over at Channel 11 all winter. So I'll have to get with him this week, see if he's going to be back with us this season for the weekend weather pit stops.
I hope so.
I don't see why not. So, yeah. And speaking of which, spoiler alert for next week's show, we're going to be speaking to Brian Lisky.
Really?
About the upcoming season at Attica. Yeah.
Well, that sounds exciting.
We went for Rex. Usually we talk to Rex. Rex retired. I went after his replacement, and his replacement bowed out and said he's going to let Brian take care of it because Brian's the public relations. So, I mean, it makes sense. And we like Brian anyway. So, Brian Lisky will be on the show next week to talk some Attica stuff. Other series action this weekend. We mentioned a little bit ago, or maybe I didn't. Maybe I don't think I did. The World of Outlaw NASA Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. They were supposed to be, we did. Port Royal, because that was going to be our how many. Yeah. So I did mention that. The Low E Insulation Spring Showdown at Port Royal Speedway in Port Royal, Pennsylvania, tomorrow and Saturday has been canceled due to the unstable weather conditions. No World of Outlaws this weekend.
That just means they don't know whether it's going to snow or rain, but it's going
to suck either way. Yeah. Arca Menard Series in action tomorrow night, Friday night, the 10th at 8 o'clock on FS2. It's the General Tire 150 from Phoenix Raceway. Then the Xfinity Series will take the track on Saturday at Phoenix for the United Rentals 200. That'll be at 4:30 on FS1. And then Sunday, the Cup Series takes over. It's the United Rentals Work United 500 at Phoenix Raceway. That'll be at 3:30 Sunday afternoon on Fox. And that is your Big D's Pizza Racing menu.
Sounds like a weekend with NASCAR.
Yeah, I guess. Well,
and Arca.
Unless you got Flo there, and you can check out the CRA stuff.
Right. That's right.
Watch Katie race, see if she can pick up that win, and we should get a full year of Mobile One.
Ooh.
Think she can finagle that for us?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm not going to hold my breath on that one, but thanks, producer Dave Kemmer, contributors Matt Swanner, John Young, Doug Dock, Bob Stazak. Make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hammer Report, follow us on YouTube. Listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. You can also check us out, hammerdownracingreport.com. Listen to us there. And we're working on another sponsor.
Really?
That Dean Henry kind of hooked us up with. I think as soon as we get the check, we're going to be having some more food.
Ooh, the check's in the mail?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And we might be able to do a remote at this place, too. Live broadcast. Indoors.
Ooh.
With food.
Boy, this is sounding better all the time.
Stay tuned. Thanks to our existing sponsors, DCR Graphics. Again, if you're in the market for any graphics for your car this year, or you just want to design something cool with some special custom graphics, give DCR Graphics a call. Big D's Pizza, Oakshade Raceway, Ron Miller Race Cars, Freeze Frame Photos, Headhunters Barber Studio and Salon. And if you're interested in becoming a sponsor of Hammer Down Racing Report, you can call the Hammer Down hotline at 419-318-3081 or shoot us a message on Facebook or get a hold of Ron, somebody. Yeah. We'll figure it out. So.
For all of our friends in Australia that are listening, good morning. And tell your friends we need to get our Australian numbers up.
Yeah, India's beating them.
Yeah.
And that's just podcast. That's not the Facebook. That's just people that listen on to the podcast.
On whatever platform.
On whatever platform. Yeah, it's a combination of all the platforms that we get the data for.
If I lived in Australia and knew that India was beating you, I'd work on that.
I have a little beef with India as it is right now.
Yeah.
Due to
I'm sure.
My working situation. So thanks again to week's guest, Katie Hettinger. And good luck to her this week in the CRA and next week at Millbridge in the micro sprint. And as we mentioned next week on the show, Brian Lisky will be talking the 2023 race season at Attica Raceway Park. So make sure to tune in live 7 o'clock on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We're live on all those. So,
and I see David Keegan's got his guess in for this week's How Many. So congratulations on your pizza there, David.
We're out. I'd say go support a local track this weekend, but
ain't gonna happen.
Get the shovel ready if you're in this area. If you're in Australia, you don't have to worry about it, right?
That's it.
It's like summer still.
If you're in Florida, it doesn't matter either.
That's true. All right, we're out of here. Let's go.
I know we got at least one listener in Florida.
Is she married to you?
Yeah. Poor lady.
Poor lady. Yeah, poor lady for having to listen to us and be married to you. It's like a double whammy.
That's it. She'll miss her dogs.
We'll see you next week.
Goodbye, folks.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.